Hi everyone, welcome back to Be Rich. Yes, yesterday we saw the market facts were shared on the Instagram 52 week that the FIIs bought for 9,000 crores. And the markets were up yesterday, and there was a lot of question on why the FIIs are back. Is it that we're celebrating that they're back? It is not that. Let me explain why the FIIs came in with 9,000 crores yesterday. The main reason why the majority of the funds which came in yesterday from FIIs was something known as Morgan Stanley Index, which is MSCI. Right? In that, India is part of that index. It's a passive fund index, and India's weightage was increased yesterday. And when India's weightage was increased yesterday, that means certain percentage of the fund's money has to be invested in India, and all that funds flew into India. And that's why you saw HDFC, Reliance, and all these stocks being pushed up yesterday. So this is the main reason for the 9,000 FII coming in. Today, if you see the market, it opened positive. It's already down as I'm recording by 0.2%. And companies which we're looking at in consideration our list, some of them are also negative right now. So keep that in mind. That's why even yesterday I shared, though the markets were up, we have a list of companies which we are always looking at. And if you're looking at that list of companies, if you see value in it, we look at values, price to earnings. That's the basic ratio which we're looking at. If there's no fundamental change in these companies, we'll keep looking at these at different coffee ranges. Like I shared yesterday in the group, I was looking at Dr. Reddy yesterday. Today, I have not looked at the market as it, but I will definitely have some different coffee, like Anand says, during the course of the day. And when I do, I will definitely share it with you on the 52-week group and let you know what I had today. I saw a lot of you had yesterday consumed some gold. I'm happy for you. A lot of you have consumed some Manappuram, which I'm happy for you. One curious question was asked, why aren't you talking about Manappuram anymore? Is there something wrong with Manappuram? There's nothing wrong with Manappuram. I cannot, and Anand definitely cannot keep talking about every single company, every single day, in every single video, on every single platform. If that is all we do, I'll be literally reading out company names from a list. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T. And that'll be 10 minutes of video. And I think that'll be very boring. And I keep saying this repeatedly. I want you guys to learn. Have confidence in yourself. Don't keep on looking for some shortcut where you just see a video or you see a clip and you invest based on this. That's not the way we invest. And it is really heartbreaking to hear this thing over and over again, especially in a close-knit group which we have, like in the 52-week group. From the beginning, we have been harking on this. And suddenly just to jump into the group and say, okay, I don't participate in the group, I'll just ask, is anything wrong with Manappuram? You guys are not talking about it. Makes no sense. If you read something in Manappuram, which we should have an eye on, share it. Saying, hey, this seems like something we should talk about. Why? Like you guys asked about IndusInd Bank, which I explained, which is very true. You had asked me, we talked about in promoter integrity and we talked about bank doing fraud, and that's one of the main reasons Anand didn't like RBL. And what about IndusInd, the Hindujas, and the bad press they've been having about the way they treated some of their domestic workers and the way they have a relationship with Adani? Shouldn't all those be red flags? And I did explain, IndusInd Bank has not done anything per se, right? RBL Bank had done per se. So there's a big difference. What Hindujas do, and Hindujas are a huge family, right? And what they do amongst themselves, that does not really stick on to IndusInd. And like I said, even the Tatas, you have to keep an eye on them. And Tata is a huge family. So it was a nice conversation to have with you guys. Same way, if you're going to ask me about something, about a stock or something, let's have a conversation. Just don't ask me, should I be buying this or not? Doesn't help. So anyway, coming back to the point, I do hope you understand why the FIIs were in such activity yesterday, why they were so positive yesterday. It is because of the Morgan Stanley Composite Index. India's weightage has been increased in that, and that had led to an influx of funds into India, specifically on those big stocks, on those large caps. Another question everyone's been asking is, why is the sudden Zomato gone up by 7%? The reason why Zomato has gone up by 7% is we have something known as the Sensex 30. In that, JSW Steel is out and Zomato is entered. And because Zomato is entered, there's a lot of passive funds again, which need to recomposite their index, which they funds. So they would have sold JSW Steel and they would have bought Zomato to make sure that they are in weightage of passive fund, which they need to follow. So because this I've said in the past, when a company is removed from the Nifty 50 or Sensex 30 and a new company is introduced, whatever was removed will be sold and whatever has been introduced will be bought. That is the advantage of a passive fund. If you don't know anything about stock market, you do not know where to invest, and you believe that the Indian economy is going to do well, the best way to invest is to invest in passive funds, because you're basically believing the economy is keep growing, and as companies enter and exit the index, they will be bought into and sold. So you don't have to worry about it, and you don't have to pay a fund manager to do that for you. That is the main advantage of passive funds, that is. Now, I've explained to you what happened. A lot of you thought this increase in this FI spend yesterday was on Donald Trump. I put that question out there on the group, 52-week challenge group, and none of you seem to have caught this Morgan Stanley clip. So this is the main reason why it happened. And I'll have further conversations with you in the group about this and detailing you further what is the actual increase of the India weightage on the passive fund. Other than that, what I want to talk about quickly was two companies today. One is Suzlon and the other is Ujjwal Finance. Suzlon is something you guys have been asking me a lot about, so I want to touch upon a few things on Suzlon. The problem with Suzlon is, yes, they've reduced debt, but there's still some debt. The past volatility is of concern to me, right? The company has gone through a lot of ups and downs in terms of their business, in terms of their management. As a long-term investor, I would like to wait and watch on that. The other thing is, basically they're in energy sector and they're in green energy, and it's completely reliant on the government of India and its policies. And this is not only in central policies, this also depends on state policies. And you know how doing business with the government is, either in state level or in central level. So this has a big impact on Suzlon and its earnings and its business proposition. That's another reason I try to avoid. Like Anand says, anything to do with the government, like sugar, fertilizer, cement, Suzlon falls into that category too. Actually, the whole power sector, transmission, supply of power in India, you know how it is. So that is another reason I would not want to put my money into Suzlon. Then, of course, is competition. Suzlon is facing a lot of stiff competition when it comes to this. Other than that, what are the challenges have they been facing? Well, the other things is the stock is of high valuation. I think when I was recording this, Rupesh told me it is at 88 PE, which is insane. Okay, if you're looking at Suzlon, if you were even thinking about it. And the other is the cyclical nature of the industry. The whole wind energy is demand fluctuates depending on economic conditions and government policies. So their earnings also goes through the cyclical nature. All put together, I can understand why some of you are specifically asking about Suzlon. You probably have bought Suzlon at a certain price some time ago and you're stuck with Suzlon in your portfolio and you want to know if you should exit or you should hold on to it. It's the main reason you're asking. If I had Suzlon personally in my portfolio, I would probably sell it, take that money and go deploy it. If I have to take a loss, I'd take the loss and move on and learn from my mistake. That's me personally. I'm not asking you to do it. This is what I would do. So this is as far as Suzlon is concerned. The next one which I want to talk about was Ujjwal Finance. Ujjwal Finance, a lot of you have been asking. I understand why you're asking, because it's in 33 rupees right now. The 52-week low, I think, is at 32. So a lot of you are hoping to buy Ujjwal Finance at 33 right now and hopes that it'll 52-week high is 63, that you'll be able to buy it at this low point and then hold on to it for a year or so and flip it when it goes back up to 60. If that is your motivation, please do not buy Ujjwal Finance, right? Because I do not know how long it's going to be the pain in microfinance sector. The main reason why Ujjwal Finance is taking a beating is they're a microfinance company and the whole microfinance sector is taking a beating, like I've spoken before and Anand has spoken before. So that's the reason why it's taking a beating. Is it going to get fixed now? I don't know. How bad is the NPA in Ujjwal? I don't know. How long is it going to be last for? I don't know. And I know a lot of you are looking at even South Indian Bank for the same reason. But those are the values we invest with, right? We invest with looking at the business and looking at it long term. Does it make sense? Is the company run well? Is the management team good? And we invest based on that. And most importantly, at the end of everything else, is it at value? Ujjwal Finance right now is not at value. If you look at the price to book, I think it's above 1. And if you look at the mean also for 5 years, it's above 1. So it is trading at mean or even higher than mean. So it doesn't make sense. And if you are really keen on finance companies or banking sectors, Anand's favorite ones are all below book value right now, which is South Indian Bank, Karnataka Bank. So if you're really keen on finance sector, that is where you should be looking at to unlock some value for yourself. If you're trying to gamble buying something at a 32-week low or a 52-week low or a 104-week low and then hope that, it's going to go from 33 to 50 or 40 and then I'm going to sell and exit the position, this is not the channel for you and I'm not definitely the person you should be hearing. So keep that in mind. So this is my advice as far as Suzlon is concerned and Ujjwal is concerned. If you have Suzlon stock and you don't know what to do with it, I would exit and move it into some other company. Yes, I made a mistake. I would admit it to myself and move on. That's my personal opinion. As far as entering Suzlon, I would not enter it. Ujjwal Finance. Ujjwal Finance, if you're trying to do a flip, meaning buy it at this price and then hold on to it and hope it goes to 50 or 60 and sell it again, I'm not the person, and I can't give you advice for it because I'm not even looking at doing something like that. And if you're looking at Ujjwal Finance, as a company which you want to get into banking or finance company into your portfolio, there are other banks and finance companies at much better valuations which I would offer to you other than Ujjwal Finance. So that's what the three main things I wanted to talk to you about was: one, why were the FIIs coming into India yesterday? And don't immediately assume it's because of what Trump's bluster is about China or Mexico or Canada, right? It's purely based on the passive index fund of Morgan Stanley and the India's weightage being changed there. And the other two things was the Suzlon and Ujjwal. So I hope that gave you some clarity. Thanks for watching the video as always, and do stay safe out there. Those of you in Chennai, we do have some rain this week. Do be careful when you're going out and about in the city. Especially by end of the week, we're supposed to have some real heavy spells of rain. So do stay safe out there and stock up if you need to stock up. Especially if you're in the flood-prone areas down south near Pondicherry and the coastline. Other than that, nothing else more to say. I'll see you tomorrow again with another video. Thank you.
Hey guys, that my uncles Vinod Srinivasan, Anand Srinivasan and I have rolled out our Substack, which is basically a blog/newsletter where we're going to post our original research onto it, and we've analyzed macroeconomic trends. And a lot of you know my uncle Anand Srinivasan and I regularly write for The Hindu, and these articles are also going to be made available for you in the Substack. The link is moatinvesting.substack.com. You'll find it in the description and in the video right now. We hope you go check it out. We've put a lot of time and effort into it. And please give us comments and feedback on what you read. Thank you.